Welcome students, I am Ramin Singh Chauhan. We are going to study today's topic optical activity. So what is optical activity? We will talk about that. Before that we will understand one basic experiment which was done to understand the phenomena of optical activity. So before we go to the experiment, I just want to tell you that a material which rotates the plane of incident linearly polarized light is said to be optically active. So before that, we will have an experiment. In this diagram you can see this is a polarizer and this is an analyzer. And here we are putting an optically inactive substance or no optically active substance is present. Here this is source of light, this is unpolarized light. When unpolarized light is passing and both the polarizer are not at 90°, the axis of the polarizer and analyzer are not at 90°, then you will observe some light which is transmitted to your eye. Now, in second case, we rotated the analyzer to a cross position. That is, cross position means the polarizer and analyzer are at 90°. It means the light which is transmitted in the previous case A, it is not transmitting, that is blocked by the analyzer because polarizer and analyzer at cross position. So now we cannot see any light here in the eyes which is transmitting. In third case, what we do, we put an optically active substance in between the polarizer and analyzer and rotated we put the optically active substance between the polarizer and analyzer. Now in this case, when you are observing, you can see some light. So why this light was seen to us, and now if we rotate this analyzer by some degree, then at some degree we will find that light is blocked. So why this all happened, and what is accounting for this to happen, that when these were in cross position and no light was coming and we are putting an optically active substance in between the polarizer and analyzer, and then some light is being seen by the eyes. So that is due to optical activity. And what is optical activity? Optical activity is rotation of plane of polarization of light because of optically active substance. So here we see substance between polarizer and analyzer is optically active. So analyzer has been rotated to the left from the observer's point of view to permit rotated polarized light through substance is laboratory. So that is we will talk about. But here what we see, that when optically active substance is being placed in between the polarizer and analyzer, the light which was blocked in the previous case B, we can see some light because plane of polarization or plane of vibration of the light is being rotated when it passes through the optically active substance, and when this plane of polarization is rotated, then this is not in cross position with the analyzer, and that's why we are able to see some light through our eyes. So now some chemical substances are optically active and polarized light will rotate either to the left or right when passed through these substances. The amount by which the light is rotated is known as the angle of rotation. The angle of rotation is basically known as observed angle. So what we see, that when we are placing the optically active substance, and again if we are rotating the polarizer, rotating the analyzer to right or left to bring it to the cross position, then by which the angle by which it is being rotated, that angle is called the angle of rotation, and this is observed experimentally on the circular scale which is being provided for the rotation for the analyzer. So, optical rotation, also known as polarization rotation or circular birefringence, is the rotation of the orientation of the plane of polarization about the optical axis of linearly polarized light as it travels through certain materials. Circular birefringence and circular dichroism are the manifestations of optical activity. Optical activity occurs only in chiral materials, those lacking microscopic mirror symmetry. This is occurring, optical activity is occurring in those materials which are chiral, that is, they are lacking symmetry, mirror symmetry. So, now optical activity is the ability of a substance to rotate the plane of polarization of a beam of light that is passed through it. We can say that any polarized light, or more conventionally we can say any PPL or plane polarized light, that is composed of two components. One is, and these components are circularly polarized. So, we can say when it is passing through any active medium, then rotation is taking place. For one part it is going to left hand side and other is going to right hand side, or we can say clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation is taking place. This light which is PPL, that is getting into it through the optically active substance, and then it is rotating. Half part is rotating this side, half part is rotating this side, and we know because these are chiral compounds, they are lacking mirror symmetry. What it means that the refractive indices of both the sides, right side and left side, are different, and when the refractive indices are different, then on the basis of that the movement is not uniform in both the half sides, and that is why the refractive index of which side is more, the light will be rotated towards that side. So, when it is emerging, then we can see that resultant of these components, because when they are emerging, they are adding up, and the resultant will be rotated towards the side which side is having lesser refractive index, means which is giving or producing lesser obstruction or hindrance when it is passing through the optically active substance. So, that we can see that two circularly polarized components are like left and right handed springs helices. As observed by looking at the source, right handed circularly polarized light rotates clockwise. Frequency of rotation is related to the frequency of the light, can be resolved into two circularly polarized components. Plane polarized light can be decomposed into two opposite circularly polarized components. Optical rotation results from circular birefringence. Birefringence is that we are having two lights, like it is made up of two components, and those components are two circularly polarized light. That is from a difference between the indices of refraction of light and left circularly polarized light. This in turn implies that the extinction coefficients for the right and left circularly polarized components are different. So, this difference between the extinction coefficient for right and left circularly polarized component leads to circular dichroism, and because of the dichroism is two colors, or we can say two wavelengths. So, because the right and left components are absorbed to different extent, the beam which emerges from the sample is elliptically polarized light, or in that we can say that the plane of vibration or plane of polarization is rotated. So, now we will talk about the types of optically active substances. They are of two types, dextrorotatory or levorotatory. The dextrorotatory substances are those substances in which plane of polarized light is rotated in clockwise direction. What is clockwise direction? This is the clockwise direction. That is, we are rotating right. So, that is dextrorotatory. Do not confuse with D. We can use capital D or small d. Levorotatory, when the plane polarized light is rotated in a counterclockwise direction, that is opposite to the clockwise, and that is we can say this is left-handed rotation. So, the plane of rotation of plane polarized light by an optically active substance is proportional to the number of atoms in the path of the light, that is dependent on the, you can say, that is dependent on the length of the optically active substance, because when length is high, then particles which are interacting, they are large. Now, we will talk about one quality, that is term related to optical activity, that is specific rotation. The intensity of optical activity is expressed in terms of a quantity called specific rotation, and this is defined by an equation that relates the angle through which the plane is rotated, the length of the light path through the sample, and the density of the sample. Because the specific rotation depends upon the temperature and upon the wavelength of light, these quantities also must be specified. So, what we can say is that optical activity is given in terms of specific rotation. And what is specific rotation? Specific rotation is dependent on the length, concentration or density. So, when we are taking solid, then we are talking of density, and when we are having solutions or liquids, then we are talking of concentration. So, we can say, and it is the angle of rotation through which the plane is rotated, that is dependent on these two factors which I mentioned, that is density and length of the optically active substance on, and then we can say theta is proportional to L and theta is proportional to D or C, then theta is equal to SL or theta, SL upon D, or SL and SLD we can say. So, in that case, the proportionality constant is S, that is specific rotation. So, the term specific rotation used to bring rotation of all optically active substances in a comparable form. So, on the basis of this specific rotation, we can determine or we can compare the optical activity of different optically active substances. So, for solids at a constant temperature for plane polarized light of definite wavelength, the angle of rotation of plane of polarization is directly proportional to length travelled by the polarized light in the solid. So, we can say that theta is proportional to L in this case for solids, and theta is equal to SL, where S is specific rotation, and so we get S is equal to theta upon L. So, where S is specific rotation in solid, and it is measured in terms of degree per mm, because in solids length is effective, and in solids the molecules are compactly placed. So, in that case millimeter distance is also effective. Thus, at a constant temperature for a plane polarized light, the of definite wavelength, the specific rotation of a solid is equal to the angle of rotation produced by 1 mm length of solid. So, we can define specific rotation for S for solids, that is equal to the angle of rotation when light passes through 1 mm length of the solid. Now, for liquids, we can see we are considering the density. So, rotation of plane of polarization by a liquid is directly proportional to the length traversed by the polarized light in liquid of density d. Hence, theta is proportional to LD. So, theta is equal to SLD, where S is proportionality constant, and we get S is equal to theta upon LD, where theta is angle of rotation, L is length of the optically active substance, and D is density of the optically active substance. Since we are taking liquid, then in liquid we know the intermolecular placing is farther apart than those in solids. So, we are considering the length, because millimeter length if we are taking, then that will not be affected, and that will not give sufficient or measurable rotation in the plane of polarization or plane of vibration. But when we are considering the distance in decimeters dm, then that is effective, and we can observe the plane of polarization, rotation of plane of polarization and plane of vibration. So, S is equal to theta upon LD, and from this way we can determine the specific rotation as for the liquids as the when a light of definite wavelength passes through a liquid optically active substance of density 1 gram per cc or 1 gram per centimeter cube, and for a length of 1 decimeter, then the angle of rotation of plane of polarization is equal to the specific rotation. So, thus the specific rotation of liquid is equivalent to the angle of rotation of plane of polarization produced by a liquid of length 1 decimeter and density 1 gram per centimeter cube, and it is measured in dm minus degrees per dm gram centimeter per gram centimeter cube. So, at constant temperature, now we are taking for solutions. For solutions, theta is proportional to LC. So, we get theta is equal to SLC where S is specific rotation and proportionality constant. So, we get S is equal to theta upon LC, and we know the concentration is given mass per unit volume. So, here we can see S is equal to theta V upon Lm, where theta is angle of rotation of plane of polarization, V is volume of the solution, L is in length, that is in decimeter, and M is mass of the solution. Thus, at a constant temperature for plane polarized light of definite wavelength, specific rotation of solution is equal to the angle of rotation of plane of polarization produced by 1 decimeter length of solution when the concentration of the solution is 1 gram per centimeter cube and its unit is degree per decimeter per gram centimeter cube. So, now we will go to a device which is used to determine the specific rotation, or that is an instrument which is used to measure optical activity. So, in this instrument we can see that there are a source of light, there is a source of light which is producing unpolarized light, then there is a polarizer. In case of polarizer, we are using different types of polarizer, or we are sometimes using a plate in between here, but we are talking of general design of a polarimeter. Then we are having sample tube containing organic molecules. That is, we are having a polarimeter tube which is having optically active substance. Then we are having an analyzer. So, when light passes through, when unpolarized light passes through this, then through polarizer it gets polarized, and then it is passing through the polarimeter tube which is having optically active substance. Then on passing through this optically active substance, the plane of vibration of plane of polarization is getting rotated, and then at the analyzer we can observe the light after the rotation through the optically active substance. And for determining the optical activity, what we are doing, first we are setting the condition of a cross, that is when we are filling this polymeter tube with optically inactive substance, and then we are setting this analyzer at a cross position with the polarizer, that is no light is being seen. And now in second step we are placing optically active substance in the polymeter tube, and now we are observing some light through the analyzer in the same condition. So now we rotate the analyzer clockwise or anti-clockwise to set it to the cross position with the polarizer, that is in a condition where light is blocked. So this angle of rotation which we are doing from first cross position and then again bringing the cross position for this optically active with optically active substance, the angle which we are getting, that is angle of rotation of plane of polarization. And now by using this angle of rotation of plane of polarization, we can find out the S, and that gives the measure of optical activity. So we can see that theta is equal to SL, S is equal to theta upon LC, where L is length of the optically active substance. So we are generally using this polymeter tube of various lengths. Whatever we are using, we can use that length. And C is concentration of the solution, or if we are using liquid, then we can take the density. So in that case, we can determine S by using theta upon LC. Theta is measured by the polymeter. So we can say a scientific instrument used to measure the angle of rotation caused by passing polarized light through an optically active substance is polymeter. So this is all for today's class, where we learnt about optical activity, specific rotation, and polymeter, which is a device to measure the optical activity of various optically active substance. So in next class we will take on another topic from different concepts. So that is all for today's class. Thank you.